Hi everyone!
Hey!
I'm Casey.
I'm Maggie.
And we're going to talk about this week's episode of Teen Wolf.
Yeah, sorry we didn't make one last week.
I made one, and then I was like, then it was too long. And then I made another one, and it wouldn't upload properly, so I just said, it's just a sign. I can't make one for this week.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we watched the live stream too. So the summary of the live stream is Tyler Posey is literally just the best human ever.
He's so great. There's something that he said that I can't think of what he said that we were literally like, he is so awesome. He's really smart. I like that he's so smart.
He's smart, but he's also a child.
He's a child, but he's smart. Like, he has common sense, though, which we all know Holland doesn't have. So
I love Holland's non-common sense, though. She's just like, okay. But, yeah, so Jeff was there, and it was just really nice. It was very calming. It's very...
Because none of the other, actors, showed up at the end, which kind of made it, a calming experience, not like, oh my gosh, look at
Which is what we needed after that episode. So, speaking of, let's get into it. Okay, so the opening scene was a monologue from Dylan O'Brien as Styles. Obviously, he's talking to Mrs. Morrell, the guidance counselor. He's talking about just his feelings about Matt and, the drowning. He talks about, he kind of gives, an overview of the characters thus far this season, Scott and Allison, how he's not really talking to Scott, and him and his dad still are. But his dad knows that, his dad's the sheriff again, probably because half of the Beacon Hills Police Department is dead. Matt, Scott, Allison, we know Allison is now super crazy hunter girl. But anyways, Styles is just talking about how he's just super overwhelmed, hypervigilance, which is the constant fear that something's going to happen. And he's like, well, isn't there maybe it is that something's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And what is this doing? Okay. But he's like, but then Miss Morrell was like Winston Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going, or something like that. I'm sorry, I don't have Winston Churchill quotes memorized like all the Teen Wolf characters do. But it was really nice, and what we loved about it was how it was shot, right?
Yeah, it was filmed really well.
It was filmed beautifully,
and
the
what
light,
they showed, and the
close up on Dylan's mouth and his eyes and his
eyes, and doing all those things.
I think this director is one of us because it was like pornography to me. But also, Dylan O'Brien is seriously one of the greatest actors I've ever witnessed on television. Dylan just encompassed it. He is Styles, and that scene, I just was crying because he's such a good actor, and it was so beautiful, and it was such a great scene. I mean, this episode had us crying and laughing a lot. It was rough. Screw you, Jeff Davis.
Yeah.
So then you see, but I'm trying not to go in order, but let's kind of go with the.
We don't have to give a recap.
No,
we can just talk about our feelings.
Recap. But
we don't have to. We don't recap. Yeah, I mean they watched it.
Yeah, hopefully. So Boyd and Erica. Let's talk about
that. Erica, so at one point they held hands. Cool.
No, it was like a shipper's dream tonight.
So seriously, everything. But so pretty much they were just they decided that they wanted to run away, and they heard other wolves, and they think they found another pack.
Nope, what? It was the Arkansas four-wheelers.
I still kind of wish it was.
And they left, but me too. But they left Derek. They're like, we're leaving you. We want a better alpha.
Right. So then Peter's left with them.
And Peter shows up. But I love Peter in this episode. Also, I'm wary because.
But the things that he said though were gets him with his heart.
The things that he said made sense.
And so at the end of the episode, when Jackson is dead,
or he's hurt.
He wasn't breathing. He wasn't breathing. Apparently, whatever. So, and Lydia, is running up to him. And apparently that's what's going to bring him back. Hopefully. Or that's what people think. That's what I hope. I hope that that the Kanema is now gone and that...
The werewolf takes over because...
apparently people say that his hands, the close-up on his hands were not Kanema nails. It was werewolf nails. That would be the best. All I want in my life is for my baby Jackson to be a werewolf and to be a part of something.
Yeah, and I really want, I don't know. And I love what Peter was saying. Okay, I'm so wary about what Peter was saying because what he said made so much sense.
Right.
It made so much sense. But
Dean is the one that told him not to trust him.
So I don't know. But what he said made a ton of sense. And I love Peter as a character because he is a villain, but he's so sassy, and he's just really great, and he just has great, and Ian is so talented, like, holy crap. Ian, and I think he's going to be in season 3 because in the live stream last week, Ian and Holland were like, maybe our storyline will carry over to season 3, so I hope he's in season 3. But, so I hope that they are able to save Jackson, obviously. I mean, we see the Canema in the promo for next week, so I think it'll be okay. Yeah, but so Boyd and Erica left, right? And that was terrible. And they left
left Derek. But then, of course, Allison shows up and is, like, shooting at him. She's like, about to kill Boyd. But then Papa Argent is like, hell no, and shoots her bow, which was so cool. And that's when I was like, okay, this is the only Argent that I still care about.
Can we just talk about Allison for a second? Like, I loved Allison, and I still do deep in my heart because Allison is just such a badass character. But, like, she's kind of going off the map, and I don't really understand why, what was so quick. Obviously, I feel for her. Her mom was killed. She had to kill herself because of the werewolf bite, and she already lost her aunt who, like, I mean,
that's why she's going crazy.
I understand, like, where she's, like, well, I don't personally understand, but, like, I get the motivation for her character. But I don't understand, like, it's kind of the Matt principle. I understand that Matt, like, had a reason to want those people dead, but that doesn't give him an excuse to actually try and kill these people, like Styles said at the beginning. So I understand why Allison wants to, like, kill Boyd and Erica, but she doesn't have the right. And that's why Argent was like, we go by the code. And Allison is turning into her grandfather, and that when she called him, she was being really sassy and was like, she called him grandpa, and then Chris was like, that's I'm sorry, I never heard you call him grandpa. So so there's that. And Erica told Boyd to leave and just leave her, and then he comes back. So he kind of saves her. I love Pac feels. So then, speaking of Pac, Isaac
just wins.
Isaac wins this episode. I mean, Styles always wins the episode. He's like the other winner of the episode, but Isaac is tied for Styles for this episode of winning.
Oh my gosh, it's great.
So the first time you see, so you're wondering, like, where's Isaac when Boyd and Erica decide to leave? Because Boyd and Erica are the only ones that confront Derek.
And he shows up
at the animal shelter with Scott and Scott. And so he comes in, and I want to tell the scene because it's literally the best. He comes in, and there's a puppy laying on the table, and Deaton's like giving him a shot, and then Isaac goes, well, why does he like smell different? And Deaton's like, yeah, you can tell, like, when an animal's getting better or when it's not gonna get better, and so that means that the puppy's like dying, and he's like really upset, and he's saying, well, yeah, it's crazy how your werewolf instincts, like, things work, and like you can smell and you can touch and heal. You can heal really well. And so he's like, come here. And so he takes Isaac's hand and presses it to the puppy, and you see like stuff coming into his hand, and he goes, what was that? And he's like, he just helped take some of the pain away. And Isaac was just going like this, and Scott's like, it's okay, I cried when he first showed me too. And oh my god, and Isaac was crying, and then he just, like, he smiled the best smile. If you haven't seen the episode, or if you want to watch, if you're rewatching, just, I literally want to just rewatch that smile. Daniel Sharman. Oh my god.
Over and over again.
Over and over. I'm putting that gift in my sidebar.
Then he still says that he's gonna leave
because he doesn't have anyone.
He doesn't have anybody there.
Because Scott's like, there's too many people, I can't leave. And he's like, well,
I don't have anyone.
I don't have anyone, so I'm not gonna go.
So he leaves.
Then at the championship game,
which Scott wasn't gonna go to, but he is going because Jackson was playing, obviously.
But he can't play because he's failing 3 classes.
Right. But then Isaac shows up, sits next to him, and he's like, there says something, and Isaac's like,
I came to win.
And so Scott has to, like, use Isaac to be able to play, because he wants to play to get to Jackson, obviously, because the whole thing with Papa or Grandpapa Argent and being a crate. And so then Isaac, like, does all this stuff for him, but then Isaac gets paralyzed by Jackson. And so they're like, and then Grandpapa Argent is like, has this knife out, and everybody was thinking.
Styles is playing, by the way.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
But so everybody, like, the immediate thought goes into their head, like, oh my gosh, Isaac's the one that's about to die. Then Scott shows up and saves him. Great. Okay.
Ship her heart, because let's just say shipping Isaac
and oh my gosh. Okay.
Scott. Okay.
But anyway, so then Styles playing lacrosse.
Okay, so he, like, wasn't gonna play, but there's Greenberg sucks less than him, so Styles is in. But
can we also say there are also 3 people that apparently suck less than Styles? Because 3 people
they were sitting on the bench.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. But side note, this is a really funny line. Styles is giving this like really like serious talk with Scott on the bench. They're like, "We're losing, Scott. Like we're not like this is gonna end in like super like blood and people screaming and all that stuff." And Styles is like, "We're losing," and then coach comes up and is like, "You're playing," and he's like, "Me? Like on the team? What? Like on the field?" And he's like, "No, unless you want to play with yourself." And then Styles goes, "I've already done that today twice," or something like that. I was like, "Dude, you can't say that!
Can't say that!"
So, like, he gets on the field. Oh, and Papa's there sitting next to Mrs.
And
McCall.
he's like, "My son is on the field. My son is on the field.
My son is on the field."
And Mama's like, "He's on the team.
He's on the team."
He's like, "My son's on the field," and he gets really excited. Then
he's bad.
Terrible at first, like really terrible.
He's like actually bad.
And then all the stuff happens where Isaac does everything so Scott can play. But then Scott's gone to go save Isaac, and so then it's just Styles, and the rest of the team.
Yeah.
And
then
Styles
he gets the ball,
and he runs, and
he
like
wasn't doing the proper lacrosse.
He wasn't doing anything.
I know because my brother played lacrosse.
I played lacrosse. And then he's like standing in front of the goal, not shooting, and everybody's yelling at him to shoot.
I was standing up like yelling at them, and Maggie was sitting at the moment.
Yes, and then he shoots and he scores, and literally we both stand up and we were like screaming.
And then for the rest of the scene where he was playing lacrosse,
he scores like 7 times,
3 times. But okay,
no, it was a lot.
Okay, well they just showed the same shot over again for emphasis because on the scoreboard he scored 3 times to give them 1.
Anyway, he scored 3 times, and
we were like screaming as if we were there. We were like jumping in front of the TV, hugging, like high-fiving.
It was like we were on the field.
It was
watching him play.
But of course, nothing good can ever stay in Beacon Hills. And the timer runs out. Jackson stabs himself, and we don't know what's happening. That's pretty much it. Oh, and Peter. What Peter said was basically, you have to trust Scott. Lydia can save Jackson, and you need to trust me. I don't want to be the alpha. I just want to help you because you need help. So I'm like really confused if we're supposed to trust him because that sounds like great advice to me. But like I vote yes. To
but
Peter
I vote Team Deaton, so that's why I don't know what to do.
Dean is literally sorry. One of my friends, Erin, is shout out. She's probably not watching this, but she's watching right now and she's live texting me. She just got to the Isaac part, but I mean, overall. Oh, and this is the last episode. I mean, the second to last. Next week's the finale, and we won't even be together. She's gonna be in New York, and I'm gonna be here in Texas.
Probably not gonna be able to watch it till like the next day.
But I will probably after Revelations because there's gonna be the little after show. Like if you remember from the first episode. After or was it the first? It was like the second episode.
Second episode.
So they'll have Team of Revelations right after. Now it'll probably be a sobbing mess because someone's gonna die and it's gonna be crazy. But I'll probably calm down during Team of Revelations and I'll make a video for y'all. But yeah, so that's it. 13 minutes. Sorry for being long. And this is your weekly reminder.
Buy it as a gift.
Buy it as a gift. I can't talk. I don't know.
All right. Okay, bye.